Now, the family of a British couple detained in Iran have spoken to them for the first time in 7 months. Lindsay and Craig Foreman have been charged with espionage while they were on a motorcycling tour. They deny the allegations. Well, I'm very pleased to say we can speak to Joe Bennett, who is Lindsay and Craig's son. Joe, thank you so much for being with us. I'm so pleased you were able to speak to your parents. What did you say to them?
Yeah, so, I mean, first and foremost, it was a massive, overwhelming feeling of relief. We talked about, you know, in the best sense, and they seem to be pretty good mentally, and they say that they're being looked after as well as possible and making the best of the conditions. We laughed, we cried, you know, we talked about how things were happening and how they got to where they are, and from what we know, they were transferred from Oman via plane a week ago to Tehran. But I think the first instance, we got about 8 minutes, and it was more to sort of say, it's really good to hear your voice, you know. It's been 7 long months. But yeah, as I say, really, really good, reassuring. And it now just sort of gives us the energy to kick on and get them home.
And Joe, how did it come about? You know, you say you were given 8 minutes to talk to them. It's been 7 months. Was it outreach from the UK side, from the Iranian side? Just tell us how it came that you managed to get them on the phone.
Yeah, so we've had the promise of 2 phone calls prior to this one, and it always comes through the Iranian MFA to our embassy, who then relay the information to us and say, look, they're going to try and call you around this time. The call that we had most recently was a proposed time between 8:30 and 9:30 in the morning, and we basically, I didn't get a call until about 10:30. Naturally, I started to doubt as to whether it would happen. And then when I saw the phone ring, as I say, I got nervous, naturally, because I hadn't spoken to my mum for a while. But as soon as, you know, we started speaking to one another, the reconnection that we'd lost along the way was there again.
I'm so glad you got to speak to her, Joe. Look, it's reported as well that Craig and Lindsay were being held in the same cell, and they've been separated. Is that right? Is that still the case?
Yeah, so they were, when in command, the reports are that they were held together, which would have offered them a bit of comfort and a bit of solace, because they would have had one another to keep themselves going. The reports are that since being moved to Tehran, that Craig is in the central prison, which is not Evan, but it's the other central prison in Tehran, and my mum is in Karchak prison. Now, we, as a family, have done a little bit of research into these prisons, and there's a very harsh ruling that the conditions there are inhumane, or can be. And that obviously gives us great worry for the 2 of them.
Look, of course, your parents deny the accusations that they face. Give us your message, the family's message, first of all, to the Iranians, about your parents and what you need to see happen.
Absolutely. I mean, to the Iranians, it's continued to show compassion. The phone call that we received from them was such a boost for us as a family, and it would have been a huge, huge boost for the 2 of them to have heard their family voices for the first time in 7 months. So just continue in the same vein. You know, we are really pushing now for regular consular access. We want the regular phone calls to happen, and we just want to make sure that their welfare is maintained, as they seem to be doing, as I say, okay, given the circumstances. The message our end is that we're going to keep fighting, we're going to keep pushing to make sure that we get them home as soon as humanly possible.
Just really quickly, have you been given a time when they're going to face trial, or are they just being held now indefinitely? So
I did ask this question, and unfortunately there wasn't knowledge on my mum's behalf, and I don't think they've got knowledge themselves. So it's a little bit up in the air at the moment. There doesn't seem to be any set dates that are indicated or any clear timeline as to when this may be, and that's deeply worrying. You know, as I say, yesterday was an overwhelming feel of happiness and joy, but what we have to face is the reality, and that is that they are still incarcerated and they've still been detained for far, far longer than they should have been. So we just need to keep on making sure that we're doing everything we can to get them home as soon as possible.
Absolutely right. All right, Joe, best to you and your family. Thank you for joining us, and we'll stay in touch, I hope, Joe, and I hope you see your parents and get to speak to them again really soon. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you very much.